This meeting is called to order of Brooklyn Community Board 14 on Monday, November 8th, 2021 at 7:02 p.m. under the applicable statutes of New York State, the Charter of New York City, the board's bylaws, and Robert's Rules of Order. The board's policy is to encourage detailed public discussion of matters before the board at our committee meetings and at public hearings. Consequently, except by board members, there will be no public discussion at our regular monthly meetings of matters about which a public hearing or committee meeting has been held. Specific service delivery requests or complaints should be brought to the attention of the district manager's staff by calling the board office during regular business hours or by visiting our website anytime. Other matters of civic interest may be brought before the board during our scheduled public comment period, which will begin tonight after all other business on the board's monthly meeting agenda has been concluded. No partisan political appeals or advertising of for-profit enterprises will be heard. Persons wishing to speak during the public comment meeting are asked to pre-register. There will be no roll call tonight. Roll call will be taken from the participant list. And just a reminder that board members are expected to stay through the public comment period. Do we have a quorum so we can discuss the minutes?
We do, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Has the board office received any corrections about the minutes? Are there any corrections from the floor about the minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the minutes of the October meeting?
Accept. So moved.
Seconded.
Thank you. Anyone, we'll do the opposite. Is there anyone that does not want to accept these minutes? Anyone to abstain from voting? The minutes are accepted. Next on the agenda, we'll hear from District Manager Sean Campbell.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I have a brief report. I promise. Watch, I can do it. I first of all would like to, with enthusiasm, introduce Patricia Olander, who is new on our staff. She is community associate, and Anya and I are really excited to have her on our team. She comes with a great set of skills that are fit very neatly with what we need, and so we're really excited to have her as part of our team. And then I just quickly want to do, so welcome, Patricia. I quickly want to do a broken record announcement. This is my reminder to clear leaves 18 from your curb, 18 inches into the street. I think a little bit later on we'll have an announcement from DSNY about leaf collection this year. But in the meantime, please keep your curb lines clear of leaves. The brooms don't have suction, and even if they did, we have too many leaves for them. So keep up those good practices. And that really is it for me tonight. Thank you. Florence is proud of me.
Thank you very much and welcome. I'm sure this is going to be a really great fit. Next on the agenda is the chair's report. Happy Diwali to all who celebrated it last week. If the board recalls, in June of last year, Borough President Adams proposed a pilot program to form a community review panel or committee to assist in assigning a new commanding officer to the precinct. On Monday, October 4th, a community review committee was convened to interview candidates for the commanding officer assignment to the 70th precinct. This was the 17th committee to be formed in the city of New York under the pilot program. I, the chair of Community Board 14, first vice chair Gail Smith, a member of the 70th Precinct Community Council, one district resident, and one district business owner gathered at One Police Plaza to interview 4 candidates for the assignment of commanding officer of the 70th precinct. We were impressed by the 4 applicants we interviewed, and our review committee made our recommendations to the chief of department. Throughout the process, our input was treated meaningfully and with respect. We thank the chief of department for making the review committee feel welcomed and administering this important component of the assignment process. Community Board 14 offers considerable thanks to Inspector David Wall for his service to our community during a very challenging time. We wish him luck and best wishes in his next assignment. Without further delay, let me welcome Deputy Inspector Allison Esposito, new commanding officer of the 70th Precinct. Deputy Inspector, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I am literally day one in the position. So I don't have much to offer as a way of stats and yeah, I guess new incidents, but I will very shortly. Just a little bit about myself. I have almost 24 years on the job. I have served in a multitude of different assignments, from the SWAT team to the Detective Bureau, to the forensics units, to the gang units, plainclothes units, all over the city. This is my first time, with the exception of being assigned to Floyd Bennett Field for the ESU training. This is my first time serving in Brooklyn South. I am looking forward to it incredibly. I hear amazing things about the 70th precinct and the community here. I know that we're here, which I love, because as you know, Brooklyn is an incredibly diverse city, and every culture, every person, every group, every background has something unique and wonderful to offer. I say this all the time at my community meetings. I spend a lot more time at work than I do at home, so I really count myself as a member of the community. Because the vast majority of my time will be spent with you. I can't do it without you, and I'm going to ask for help, feedback, guidance in any way, shape, or form that you're willing and able to give it. And I'm looking forward to a wonderful partnership and team that we can build between the community and the police from the 70th precinct. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to a very prosperous and wonderful relationship with all of you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to meet you during the interview, and we look forward to working very closely with you. I also just want to thank all of the board members that had submitted questions and feedback to the letter to the borough president when this pilot program was being formed. I think it made a big difference in how it was administrated. Moving on to discuss the November 3rd public hearing. On November 3rd, Community Board 14 hosted a public hearing regarding a proposed shelter for single adults at 1 Kellingworth Place. We were joined by Erin Drinkwater, Deputy Commissioner, the Department of Social Services, and representatives from the Children's Rescue Fund, who will be the shelter's operator. Deputy Commissioner Drinkwater provided background on the current initiatives and a brief history on the site at 1 Kellingworth Place. We were joined by Assemblymember Bishop Hermelin, who also gave a brief history regarding her office's involvement with the shelter location. Feedback and concerns were heard from board members and members of the public. I want to offer a timeline of Community Board's involvement with the proposed shelter. On December 28th, 2020, Department of Homeless Services sent notice to Community Board 14 regarding a contract with Campbell for a family shelter at 1 Kellingworth. Because of the timing of the notice, the soonest the hearing could be held was February 2021. In January of 2021, the Community Board was informed that Assemblymember Bishop Hermelin and Councilmember Lewis had expressed concerns about the proposal and the selected operator, and were working with DHS and DSS to improve the proposal. A public hearing was postponed indefinitely until such time discussions between the elected officials and the agencies had concluded. District Manager Sean Campbell reached out to our DHS liaison approximately 1 month later, but there was no update at that time. On October 20th, 2021, Community Board 14 received a notice from DHS that the shelter would be moving forward at the Kellingworth location. There would be a change in population from a family shelter to a single adult woman facility, and also a change in operator from Campbell, who's firmly rooted in as a community-based organization in CD14, to the Children's Rescue Fund, whose work is primarily based in the Bronx. Our district manager immediately went to work coordinating the November 3rd public hearing. Please note that Community Board 14 was not included in the conversations with community leaders and community members, or kept abreast of changes that happened between January and October with respect to the population or operator. Community Board 14 is in the process of drafting a letter to DHS outlining our concerns related to transparency, limited community engagement, process and policy in the selection of population and operator. Community Board 14 will request that the comptroller review the Children's Rescue Fund contract. The board will also request that the mayor's office put a hold on the contract until the comptroller has completed the review. I want to offer a gentle reminder that it is the board's policy to encourage detailed public discussion of matters before the board at our committee meetings and at public hearings. Consequently, except by board members, there will be no public discussion tonight regarding the One Kellingworth Place shelter. But let me assure you, interested community members, that we will hold another public hearing on this matter once we have additional information and updates. Do please continue to reach out to the district office during business hours if you have additional needs or concerns regarding this matter. Just checking to see if Colin is here. He is. And moving on to the Borough Board meeting that also happened on November 3rd. Second Vice Chair Stephen Cohen attended the Borough Board meeting in my absence. Mr. Cohen, would you please provide a report of the proceedings?
Yes, Madam Chair, I can provide a brief report. So basically, there was a vote on the resolutions regarding the health and fitness resolution that we had discussed in a prior meeting, as well as the sidewalk cafe resolution. So at the meeting, there was a vote on disapproval with modifications for health and fitness. The motion for disapproval carried with 14 yeses. The meeting didn't initially reach quorum. It took at least 10 minutes for enough people to show up that we reached quorum. There was a lot of discussion regarding the resolution regarding the sidewalk cafes. Community Board 14, on behalf of Community Board 14, I voted to abstain on the motion to disapprove with conditions. That motion ultimately carried as well with a small majority of the quorum. And let's see, there was like I said, there was a lot of discussion by various community boards about their feelings about the sidewalk cafes, and Richard Barrack was present and he spoke at length in response to a lot of the comments. Borough President Adams, representative, said that she would circulate information regarding property ruined by Ida after the meeting. So hopefully that's been distributed. And then the next meeting is December 7th. And there was discussion about transitioning out to a new borough president and about the transition that's going to involve. And about, and the fact that there's the new community board applications going to be posted by, they said next week. So hopefully that means sometime this week. So make sure to look out for that if your term is expiring. And we'll find out if the process has changed at all when the new borough president comes in. But at least for now, you know, if your term is running out this year, just remember to look out for the new community board application on the borough president's website. And they said that once the link is up and running, it would be circulated. So hopefully that will be done as well in the near future. That's my report.
Thank you very much. I sort of like just moved into the borough president's meeting very quickly. I just want to make sure that there were no questions from board members regarding the public hearing that took place on November 3rd. I didn't see any hands, but I just want to make sure that that wasn't overlooked. So if board members have any questions, please let me know.
Madam Chairperson, I have a question, Shotwack.
Sure.
Just by the double negatives, Stephen, regarding the recommendation to not approve or to approve regarding the cafes.
Yeah, it was a motion to disapprove so that's what passed.
Thank you for the clarification.
Sure.
Seeing no other questions, we will move on to reports from topical committees. First topical committee will be Human Services.
At this point, there's nothing to report. We do have a meeting coming up.
Sorry, you got cut off. Can you repeat when the meeting will be?
I'm sorry, I don't have the actual, I think it's the 22nd. Am I correct about that? Anya?
Sorry, Nina. I was searching for my button. Yeah, Monday, November 22nd, which is just swiftly coming toward us. And that will be with the Department for the Aging. The liaison, Sharice Lawrence, will be with us that night.
The only other thing that I'll just kind of throw in is that Dwayne Joseph and I are talking about some things on the horizon that everybody on the committee will get on board with and help us out with and see that to fruition.
Sounds great. Thank you very much for your report. Next report is from Public Safety, please.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of my co-chair, Abram Treff, sorry, good evening. We have no meeting scheduled for this month. However, there should be a meeting on December 21st. So that I think that is Tuesday, December 21st. We should be having a public safety meeting. I would like to report, however, that I did attend the award ceremony, the Patrick Brennan award ceremony, which was held at the 6-7 precinct, and Detective Tanya Barry, who's Guyanese born, is the first female to ever receive that award in 20 years. And so his son, Martin, was the one who read her CV, and everyone was very impressed by the things she's done. She's a very active member she served in the armed forces, and at the precinct, she's been there, I think, 21 years. And she's very active in the community with the youth, where she teaches them steps, dance, track and fields, and debate. And she takes the youth around to different colleges, and have had many youth that have gone on to become, even some have become police officers after graduating from college. So she has a very impressive resume, and his son Martin was very pleased to be there to ensure her giving her the award that she received. And he said his father would have been pleased to see, because of her dedication to the community, sorry. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for that report. Next topic of committee, Education, Libraries, and Cultural Affairs, please.
Good evening, everybody. We do have a report this evening of a meeting that took place on October 26th. Carl Henry Cesar and I conducted a committee meeting with 3 speakers. The first speaker was Devonte Graham, the Brooklyn Borough Director for Community Affairs of the DOE, and he discussed his efforts in outreach to the community, including within the districts which make up Community District 14. He initially was there in place of District Supervisor Julia Bodie, who eventually was able to join us. At first, he spoke about upcoming meet and greets with district superintendents and the efforts in engagement with parents and community boards. He touched on attendance rates in districts 22, 21, and 17, with rates of 90%, 88%, and 86% respectively, which do remain below the numbers from the beginning of last year. He said he would try to get attendance rates broken out by elementary, middle, and high school levels as well. He then noted vaccination rates, 95% of staff, 96% of teachers, and 99% of principals have been vaccinated, but he did acknowledge some staffing issues once the vaccine mandate began. There remain no vaccine mandates at this time for students. When questions were asked regarding the new quarantine rules, that's when Superintendent Bobby was able to join. At that point, she answered a wide range of questions, including the quarantine protocols, the need for more seats within the district, district line drawing, remote learning, and broadband access. She also noted that her next meet and greet would be on November 10th, but she didn't have all of the details at that point. At that point, we moved on to our next speaker, who was Yvette Knight, the manager of external affairs from the School Construction Authority. She described status of various projects within the district, including at 139 and 217, where there had been some delays for a number of factors, including coordination with the school administration, vaccine mandates, and the weather. She promised to provide plans for the playground at 139. With that, we concluded our committee meeting, and we certainly invite you to review the video if you have any further detailed questions on our discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your report. Next topical committee, Youth Services, please.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good evening. I'm Nikki Levinson Angulo, the co-chair of the Youth Services Committee, presenting on behalf of my other half, Dwayne Joseph. We haven't had a chance to meet yet, but we do, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, have our first meeting set for December 1st. It's a Wednesday. I think it will be at 6:30 p.m. Am I right?
Right.
Anya's smiling. Okay, cool. Yes, so that's right. And Sean, I don't know if there was a chance to confirm any of the agencies we had an idea about their ability to attend.
That's what we'll work on, setting up that agenda, and hopefully we'll have that confirmed by the end of the week.
Awesome. Thank you very much. But we're hoping that we'll be able to have some interesting speakers from relevant agencies, and especially because I'm new in this co-chair position, and we had, Jonathan Judge was amazing and was with us for many years. I'm particularly interested in anybody, if you're a longtime enthusiastic member of the Youth Services Committee or you've never been to one, please come, and it will be fun to talk about what new and exciting things we can do in the year ahead. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much for your report. Next topical committee, Community Environment, please.
Our next meeting is scheduled for next week, the 17th, and we're going to have executives from DEP available online to answer questions and tell us what they're up to. We also attended 2 events in the community. South Midwood Pollinators, a group that take care of the Glenwood malls from East 16th to Bedford, invited us to their planting session this past weekend. And they were planting a lot of flowers, bulbs, and just cleaning up the area. The previous week, the Newkirk Community Garden had a big event also, which we went to, where they had an outreach program trying to get more people involved with the garden. And for children, they had things like pumpkin painting and free food. And it must have been well over 100 people there. So it was a very nice event. My co-chair, Mr. Barton, is going to also talk about the 5G issues that are coming up in our area. So I'll turn it over to him.
Thanks so much, Don, and it's an honor to be serving with you. On October 19th, I attended a virtual meeting from the Department of Information Technology and Telecoms, basically known as DO IT, on an upgrade of the Link NYC system, which are those kiosks and screens that you see right now primarily in Manhattan, from which you can make free calls or charge your phone. They have a new plan called Link 5G, wherein they are going to install transmitters that are literally 32 feet high by 3 feet wide. There can be as many as 1 per block. And the reason they have to be of that scale, evidently, is it's a function of the 5G, which cannot go underground. So Anya has posted the proposal, and you can see some of the images of them. They're going to block, second and third story apartment windows. It's quite a statement on the streetscape. So they will have to come to community boards to request any sites that did not used to be phone booths. So we will have some oversight on how many of them would be placed in CD14. I came away with two issues from the meeting. The first is sort of mentioned almost in a footnote. They cannot place the transmitters on top of Flatbush designed streetlights, which needless to say, we have many of. And so I asked them what their plan was going to be, how to accommodate that. They said they did not yet have one. And so I asked if they would come and meet with us when they finally come up with a plan for that. The second issue, this was a meeting that was attended by community board representatives from across the city. And the basic feeling is that this does not address internet inequality. The city is sort of giving away a public resource, and the community is not really getting all that much back. So anyway, we're hoping that they will come before us. We can ask questions about both of these issues and others. And if any of you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks, Don.
This was a meeting that was attended.
Thank you very much for that report. Next report is from, excuse me for a second. Tanya, if you wouldn't mind trying to mute that attendee.
I'm unable, everyone appears to be muted, but I believe someone might have volume on the live stream.
It's Florence Valentino. I believe it's your second call in. It could be a phone. That's the one that's creating the echo.
All that much.
Thank you. The Transportation Topical Committee, please.
Any site.
I guess I'll report on behalf of the Transportation Committee. There's no report, but I did want to note that I saw in the news, there was a news report that the MTA is delaying the bus network redesign until completion until 2026 because of the COVID pandemic. It didn't say exactly when Brooklyn would be restarted. It had begun with at a preliminary stage, but I guess it looks like they're going to tackle the Bronx's local bus network first, and it's not clear when they'll get to Brooklyn, but unfortunately, it looks like that has been pushed off till 2026, according to the media reports, at least.
Thank you very much. That concludes the reports from topical committees. Moving on to a report from the ad hoc committee, which is the bylaw revision committee report.
And that's me again. I think there's nothing to report, but we're going to have our next bylaws committee meeting in I think the second week of December. I think the date is still being finalized. Although I do want to note that I did receive some comments from Chair Emeritus Alvin Burke, which was really helpful and will help guide the next meeting. So again, I welcome any other board members who would like to comment or send proposed edits to the latest round of revisions of the bylaws. Please go ahead and do so, and we will be ready to go and discuss all proposals at that December meeting. Thanks a lot.
And Steve, if I can add, Sean Campbell, District Manager, if I could just add that the December 9th date is confirmed for that meeting. So for those of you who were going to lose sleep wondering which day in the second week of December, that's it. Thursday, December 9th, we'll start with a public hearing that will lead right into the bylaws review.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you both for that. That concludes reports from the ad hoc committee, and we'll be moving into the public session. This brings us to our public comment period. Board members are expected to remain for the public comment period. Because we were meeting remotely, all speakers were asked to pre-register via email to the board office. Any member of the public who is not able to register in time can follow up directly with the board and staff, who will include appropriate announcements on the CB14 website. Matters of civic interest and announcements of public events are invited. No partisan political appeals or advertising of for-profit enterprises are permitted. Service delivery requests should be brought to the attention of the staff by email or during regular business hours. Each speaker will be permitted to speak for up to 3 minutes and may not receive additional time from another speaker. The board has an obligation to conduct its business in an orderly manner. Any person preventing the meeting from continuing will be muted and possibly disconnected from the meeting. The intent of the public comment period is to permit the board and the community a chance to hear diverse perspectives on public issues. Accordingly, we ask that groups be represented by a single speaker. It is now 7:33. Anya Hoyer will be announcing our previously registered speakers at this time. Thank you, Anya.
Thank you. We have 6 pre-registered speakers this evening, and our first speaker is Richard Day from the Department of Sanitation, or any other representative from DSNY. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Anya. Richard Day here. Just here to make a really quick announcement about fall leaf collection, which I'm sure you guys are all really happy to hear. So the DSNY is going to be doing a special leaf collection in December. So everyone should collect their leaves and set them outside in a paper lawn and leaf bag or an unlined rigid container. Please, no plastic bags. You should do that on Saturday, December 18th after 4 p.m. for collection. Sunday or the following week should, anything prevent collection. It is the winter, so snow might happen, or it will be colder anyway. So that's the simple thing. Please, like I said, no plastic bags, no branches or yard clippings from hired professionals. And I'm also going to be sending a link to the office to order paper lawn leaf bags so that they can distribute them if they'd like. We'll also have events on our website, nyc.gov/leaf collection, where you can also collect or also pick up paper lawn and leaf bags so that you can set your leaves out. Okay. That's it for me, but thank you very much for having me. I'll post a link in the chat too.
Thanks, Richard. Next, we have Robert McCool from the Barrio Solar Campaign. I don't know if he's here. Robert McCool, are you here? Okay, following registered speaker is Nancy Lulu from the Brooklyn DA's office.
Nancy had a last minute conflict, so she asked me just to relay greetings from the DA's office and Nancy herself.
Wonderful. Next speaker, David Nussbaum from the Department of Buildings. It looks like David may have hopped off as well. I know he was here a moment ago. Our next registered speaker also may, Eileen Mullaney Newman. Go ahead, Eileen.
Hi there, everyone. No announcements tonight, but greetings to all from the Borough President's office.
Okay, and our final registered speaker of the evening is Vladimir Edouard from Ronise Bichat's office. Go ahead, Vladimir. Okay, Chair Brown, I believe that's it for our pre-registered speakers.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hoyer. That concludes the public session. That moves us to an adjournment of this meeting. Do I have yes?
Madam Chair, before we adjourn, I don't know that we got to acknowledge the representatives from elected officials' office. So I'm happy to jump in and do that. I have it in front of me. We want to thank Pinkas Heiken from joining us from the Comptroller's office, Penny Ringel, a supporter extraordinaire from the Mayor's office, Sabrina Jajust is here representing Councilmember Farrah Lewis, and just thank you all for being here, and thank you all for your daily communication and support.
And Chair, District Manager, could I just say something?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Sure. So first of all, thank you everybody for for doing the hard work from the house, doing remotely. Would like to just say, as we got a new CO in the 7-0. I'm also a resident of the 7-0, but I know the CO from her previous command in the PSA 3 in Brooklyn North. Did a lot of good work with her. She was hands-on, really there for the community. In the housing unit, she was as PSA 3 commander, and I really want to welcome her over here to the 7-0, and I'm really happy to see her as the 7-0 CO.
Thank you, sir. It's good to see you.
Same here.
Thank you very much for that. And I think I saw David Nussbaum pop back on. David, did you want, before I conclude the meeting, did you want to make your announcement? You had dropped off and came back.
That's fine. Just hello, everyone. Just check out our new website, all redesigned and has a lot of good, useful information. And everyone just be safe and well.
Thank you very much. Sean, do you have anything else before I adjourn the meeting?
That does the trick. I'll just, since I have the chance, I'll also just add my welcome to Inspector Esposito and look forward to meeting with you and working with you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
To adjourn.
Yes.
Seconded?
Seconded.
Good night,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you so much.
This meeting is adjourned at 7:38 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anya. Thank you, Sean.
Good
Night out, everybody. Thanks, Patricia, for joining us. Thanks to Morris and Morris children for joining us.
Happy Thanksgiving.